Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer weiteren Folge Chäos at Noah. Und wir sind ja gerade vor irgendwelchen komischen Leuten weggerannt, die uns offenbar verfolgt haben. Zumindest ist Taku der Meinung, dass das passiert. Und dabei sind wir auf... Ich komme gerade nicht auf ihren Namen. Deshalb sage ich einfach ihren Bandnamen, und zwar festgestoßen, die dann mit uns gerannt ist. Und jetzt sind wir halt unten in der U-Bahn-Station und sie hat uns ein wenig was über die D-Swords erklärt, in Anführungszeichen. Naja, obwohl, nee, hat sie glaube ich noch gar nicht. Egal. Oder doch? Ich bin mir gerade nicht mehr so sicher. So. Okay, sie hat uns erklärt, dass das D-Sword, also sie hat uns einfach mit dem Ding rumlaufen sehen und hat gesagt, dass das ein Fake ist. First expression stiffened, and then she turned to me. Ah ja, die Szene finde ich so genial. She suddenly thrust the palm of her right hand out in front of me. Stopping me from coming any closer, first curled her right hand into a fist. And upon swinging her hand behind her in a motion resembling a back fist. Together with a sound akin to that of glass breaking. The empty sprays cracked, and then it shattered. My eyes went wide. I was speechless. Festa stared at me. Her expression had not changed in the slightest. Within the cracks of the shattered space was a deep darkness spreading wide. With her hand buried between the fissure, Fest pulled her hand back toward her with tremendous force. Es sieht schon sehr geil aus. And now within that hand was a giant sword.
Sword.
The fissure and the empty space were repaired in an instant. The cracks disappeared as if nothing had ever happened. Has even happened. It had all happened in the span of a few seconds. Had that been a magic trick, or was what I was seeing just a delusion? It was far too removed from reality. I couldn't believe what had just happened right in front of me. This was a fantasy anime. That sword. Es sieht so geil aus. It was the same one she had been wielding at the concert. The same one I'd mistaken for a microphone stand. Its shape almost looked like a battleship ripped straight from a sci-fi anime. There were no straight lines to be found on it. And yet it appeared incredibly sharp. Incredibly beautiful. Incredibly sinister. And that if you so much as touched it, your fingers would be severed from the bone. Sorry, da hat gerade meine Nase etwas gejuckt. I was mesmerized. Her D-Sword utterly captivated me. Which was why I had asked her that without thinking. Oh boy, in for dumb time. This was definitely an anime at this point. A delusion? So in other words, she was saying that her D-Sword was a product of her delusions. Did that mean that the supernatural phenomena I had seen before had also been delusions? Had they not been real?
そう。
Oh. If it was a delusion, then why was I seeing fast thought right
言
now?
葉に引きずられてはダメよ。後ろを振り返ってみて。
I was baffled by Fast's request, but I complied anyway. Behind me was a flight of stairs, and on those stairs was Fast wearing only white lingerie. Ich bin mir gerade nicht sicher, ob... Ich bin gerade etwas irritiert. Ich glaube, im Anime hatte sie irgendwie Schwimmzeug, einen Badeanzug an. Fast was standing right beside me. Fast was standing on the stairs right in front of me. Two of the same person in the same place. And not only that, but one of them was incredibly sexy, wearing only her underwear. Completely and utterly flustered, I relentlessly snapped back and forth between the two faces over and over again, comparing them. They were exactly the same, right down to their face features, features, height and hairstyles. The only difference was their clothes, and whether or not they were carrying a sword. They weren't twins or anything like that, and they didn't just look alike. They were one and the same. I was used to seeing girls in the underwear in eroge, but here I couldn't handle it for some reason. I had run into Nanami's smelly, piss-stained underwear countless times, so you would think this would be no big deal, but for whatever reason I couldn't get myself to follow that line of logic. First was standing in the middle of this disgusting underpass and only her underwear. I felt like I was about to lose my mind from how unbelievable the situation was. Even though I knew I shouldn't look at her, I couldn't help but feel like I was this close to stealing a glance anyway. It took an insane amount of willpower to keep my eyes down. I automatically apologized, because I knew that only a few minutes ago I had had a delusion about this very thing. Fast wearing white lingerie.
君の望んだ嘘。
The two Fast said this at the same time, as if they could see right through me. I jumped, started. I could feel my face rapidly turning red. I needed an excuse. I needed a way out of this. If a 3D girl labeled me as a pervert, it would be over. I would be socially obliterated. Okay, wait. While that may be important, the more pressing matter is, what the hell is happening? Oh, herrlich. As you walked cautiously through the narrow, trash-ridden streets of Maruyamacho, Ben Yasui jammed one hand inside his pants pockets. Inside he found a few dozen small coins.
先輩、貼り付けの現場に何があるっていうんすか？もう事件から2週間以上経ってるし、散々調べられた後っすよ。新しい証拠なんて出てきませんって。
His partner, Detective Thruber, had been walking behind him, grousing in an irritated voice for quite some time. That was understandable, of course, as the job originally assigned to them had been to tell an important witness for the new gen case of Nishijo Takumi. However, the two of them had abandoned their tailing missions and had instead come to the scene of the third new gen incident, colloquially known as the crucifixion. Ben had decided to abandon the original task of tailing Nishijo Takumi, forcing the burn onto some other detective in the same jurisdiction. The rookie detective Suva was not pleased by this. The rookie detective had consistently been pushed around by his senior without any explanation, and he could not stand it. For that reason he had been insistently trying to persuade Ben for a long while now. But to this Ben only said, He remained aloof and refused to heed his junior's perfectly sound argument. Finally they at last came across a narrow road blocked off by yellow barricade tape. As he let out the latest in his myriad of sights, a cell phone began vibrating near his chest. He quickly took out his phone, which had been set to vibrate, assumed the look of a capable detective, and pressed the accept button. As he listened to Suva's voice coming from behind him, Ben came to a stop in front of the barricade tape. Behind the tape was the crime scene. A deep darkness had settled over the area, just as it had when the crime had been committed. But now there were no remaining traces of the incident save for the barricade tape.
見失った？女か。やられたっすね。とりあえず深センの家に戻ってほしいっす。はい。張り込んでてください。いやいや大丈夫っすよ。責任はバン警部補が取るっすから。
Ben smiled really upon hearing that Suba could be surprisingly shrewd. Of course, Ben had no intention of placing the blame onto his subordinates, nor onto the detective he had placed in
なるべ
charge.
く早くこっちも合流します。本当は申し訳ないっす。お願いします。
Right as Suba hung up the phone and returned his begrudging gaze to Ben, Ben ducked under the tape. Suba had no choice but to reluctantly accompany
見
him.
失ったって？
尾行に気づかれたっす。直前にネットカフェで一騒動あったみたいっすし。
女っての？
岸本綾瀬っす。
お騒がせバンドの嬢ちゃんかな。つながりは？
同じ学校の同じ学年っすね。他は今のところ特に。クラスメートでもないっす。
Ben brought a hand to his chin, savoring the rough texture of his diamond for a moment. After which he took out several coins from his pocket and started counting them in the dark one by one. Suba stared at his eccentric senior with a puzzled look on his face.
何してるんすか？
よりによって5円玉だけありゃしね。そうだ、お前5円玉持ってねえか？
はあ。
Perplexed, Suba took a 5 yen coin out from his wallet and held it out to Ben. However, instead of taking it straight away, Ben tore the bottom of the shirt he was wearing. He then untied the thread fastened to the button.
先輩、ついに頭おかしくなったんすか？
生意気な口聞くようになったじゃねえか。
Ben chuckled and lightly whacked Suba on the head. He then took the thread and weaved it through the hole in the center of the coin.
よし、お前にやらせてやるよ。
After pinching both ends of the thread with his fingers, Ben let the 5 yen coin hang down and handed it to his junior.
振り子っすか？
ああ、
Ben smiled mischievously.
こいつが事件の重要なヒントを与えてくれるかもしれねえぜ。
マジっすか？バンさん、勘弁してほしいっすよ。そのために仕事をほっぽってここまで来たんすか
Suba's tone was almost mournful. He had been pushed around countless times by Ben before, no, but this time Ben had finally managed to utterly stump the rookie
サイキッ
detective.
ク操作とかガウジングとかその手のテレビでも見て影響を受けたんすね、先輩。
そういうお前も詳しいじゃね
いやまあ自分も見たは見たっすよ。先週のユーリ・ブライトマン。
えの。
ユーリ・ブライトマンっすよ。今話題になってるアメリカの超能力捜査官っす。
俺が見たがそんなチャラチャラしたもんじゃねえよ。どこかのお偉い大学教授が出ててだな。
でもテレビっすよね。
いちいち文句の多いやつだ。やってみりゃわかる。ほら、いいから吊るしてみろって。
When his senior issued that request, Suba did not have any room to refuse. His lips pursed in a solemn manner, but he reluctantly accepted the 5 yen coin. He pinched the ends of the string and began to twirl it around in a circle, creating centrifugal motion. It was too dark for either of them to see it clearly, so Ben flicked on a 100 yen cigarette lighter and used it as a light source.
先輩ってタバコ吸いましたっけ
10年以上前に禁煙したよ。なんでだ。
ライター持ってたっすから。
こういうこともあろうかと用意しといたんだよ。
ははで、これで何がわかるんす？
もっといろいろ動かしたり止めたりしてみろ。
Ben monitored the movement of the 5 yen coin intently. Ben's eyes were so intensely serious, Suba could no longer complain about this being a pointless excursion.
やっぱりな。スワ、わかるか？
何がっす？
五円玉の動きだよ。さっきから少しだけ楕円を描いてるような気がしねえか。
Using the thread as support, the dangling 5 yen coin was slowly revolving around a circular motion. Silver cocked his head.
力の入れ方とかじゃないんすかね。
お前、楕円に回るように意識してやってんのか？
いや、結構適当にくるくる。
もっと手を動かさねえようにやってみろ。
はあ。
Silver constantly tried to move his hand in a circular fashion, but no matter how hard he tried, the trajectory drawn by the 5 yen coin was always elliptical in shape.
おかしい
意識的に違う形にしようとしてもできねえだろ。
Ben's face was full of pride. Suba on the other hand was still not convinced and continued relentlessly in his quest to try and change the motion of the pendulum.
渋谷のどこでもこの現象が見られるわけじゃねえが、それでも十数箇所はここみてえな場所があるらしいぞ。
確かに不思議っすね。でもだから何なんす
Ben looked up and Cedric put his lighter back in his pocket and retrieved the hand fan that he had stepped between his bed and his pants.
渋谷がなんでここまで若者を引きつけるか知ってるか
？5円玉が楕円を描くからっすか？
Suba thought he was making a clever joke, but Ben nodded readily in response, calmly fanning his face all the while.
そういうことだ。
Suba hatte doch keinen blassen Schimmer, was Ben von ihm möchte.
この渋谷という場所は若者たちをこんなにも引きつけると思う。
Suddenly the conversation I was having with Fest transitioned into something completely unrelated, but I was actually somewhat relieved by that. I had expected Fest to start treating me like a pervert, but she had just ignored it like nothing had even happened.
日本、いいえ、世界を見渡してみればこんな場所他になかなかないわ。
Did this have something to do with these swords? If not, then I didn't care. I had to somehow find a way to get Fest to tell me how to get my hands on a real D-sword.
新宿でも池袋でもなくて渋谷、この街の名前がどれだけ来てしまうくらい。
Both in front of and behind me, the same words were being spoken from the two faces at the exact same time. Perfect synchronization. It gave me a somewhat strange feeling. Had Fest split in half? Were both of them real Fest, or were both of them imposters?
日本中の人たちに刻まれている若者の街という記号。なぜかしら。
Why? Well, that has absolutely nothing to do with me.
ファッションの街だからお店がたくさんあるから流行の発信者だからよくテレビに映るから交通の便がいいから違うわドリ。
The two fast paused for a moment. Being watched from both in front and from behind started to make me feel uncomfortable.
大いなる意志工事存在もっとわかりやすく言えば神による意志なんです。
This is bad. My rational side warned me. Could this be? Maybe she was trying to recruit me into some sketchy religious cult. I began to feel uneasy. Then, man, maybe I should just get the heck out of here. But upon hearing the next thing Fest said to me, I realized I no longer had that option.
理想論その意志による認識
Oh.
引力ってあるだろう。
Hast du schon mal was von Gravitation gehört? Wäre vorteilhaft, dann ja. Ben returned to the main street from the alleyway and then began walking towards Shibuya station. Subaru, who now assumed they were going to Shenzhen, chased after a senior detective with an obvious frown on his face.
引力のことっすか？
よく知ってるじゃねえの。さすがいい大学出てるだけあるな。
Zero grew discouraged in response to Ben's slightly mocking tone.
あいにく大学じゃオカルトは勉強しなかったっすけどね。
オカルトじゃねえよ。世界には引力がアンバランス化してる地域ってのが何か所かある。
アンバランス化っすか？
振り子が楕円を描いたのもその影響ってことだ。G レートって呼ぶらしい。
GE rate in English. Yep, GE rate.
正式名称は何だっつってたかな。グルバケーション、グラリッシュ、エラ？
引力ならグラビテーションじゃないですか？グラビテーションエラーレート。
そうそれだ。グラビテーションエラーレート。
直訳すると万有引力の異常値っすか？
物理学の辞典を調べりゃ載ってるはずだぜ。
載ってたっすかね。
The GE rate an imbalance that contradicts the law of universal gravitation. Discovered by Isaac Newton, the law of universal gravitation is the fundamental force of nature that acts between all forms of energy and matter, i.e., anything that contain mass. It is commonly believed that the great number of strata layered upon the Earth's surface play a large part in this law. A typical example for something that disturbs local areas would be lava beds. This phenomenon can be found at the foot of Mount Fuji, Aokigahara, also known as the Sea of Trees, where there have been several recorded instances of compasses becoming unusable. Studies have also shown that fossil beds, particularly rich in iron and calcium, are another type of stratum in which magnetism is repelled. Adding to the previous factors, magnetite is also believed to have particularly strong influence in gravity. If magnetite, a natural occurring magnet with an octahedral crystal structure, were to be found beneath the Earth in a quantity large enough to warrant being recognized as a dike, it would be as if the ground itself were a magnet. This would then result in an extremely high chance of error producing minute gravitation deviations. The GE rate is a measurement of the gravitational values in a region in which such values have been distorted by the previously mentioned geological strata. When Ben's explanation concludes, the two men who had been walking the entire time were just exiting onto Dogenzaka. The scenery surrounding them instantly turned bright and dazzling.
渋谷の平均 GE レートは世界でもトップクラスらしいぜ。地面に置いたボールが一人でに坂を登っていくようなケースもあるらしい。
マジっすか？
Subaru, who had been listening in utter silence and up until now, showed his surprise with a slightly exaggerated tone.
SF 映画の世界っすね。
お前も好きだな。
自分は小難しいのは嫌いっすよ。壮大なスケールの映画がいいっす。
知らねえよ。
That's all Greek to me.
説明はすごくもっともらしいっすけど、なかなか信じられないっすよ。GE レートなんて聞いたこともないっすし。
てめえの無知を一般論として語るな。デカに必要なのは事実を客観視することだぞ。
はあ。でも。
What Silver said was actually true. The research into the GE rate was minimal, and it certainly was not something that would be taught to an everyday college student. Ben himself had not even been aware of it until a few weeks ago.
そもそもまだ肝心の答えを聞いてないっすよ。渋谷の重力がアンバランスだとなんで若者が引きつけられるんですか？
引力と人間ってのは意外と因果関係があるってことだよ。お前、生き物のバイオリズムは月の引力に関係してるっての知ってたか？潮の満ち引きだけじゃねえんだぜ。
ウミガメの産卵には月の影響があるらしいってのはどっかで耳にしたことがあるっす。
ああ、必ず満月の夜に産卵するってやつだな。だがウミガメだけじゃねえ。他に有名なのだとサンゴが産卵するのも満月の夜だ。
ああ、海の中が雪降ってるみたいになるやつっすね。
満月の夜は引力も強くなってるって科学的に実証されてるんだ。当然人間にもその影響は及んでる。
人の出産にもってことっすか？
出産だけじゃねえよ。バイオ
Sorry.
リズムって言ったろ。普通の生理現象はもちろん、交通事故や事件、病気、食欲とか性欲とかにも密接なつながりがある。興奮すると頭に血が上ってるっていうだろ。あれは月の引力に引っ張られてるんだよ。
そりゃ極論だと思うっすよ。まるで個々の感情なんて関係なくて全部月のせいだって言ってるようなもんじゃないっすか。
そこまでは言わないがな。集団心理っていうだろ。この町に来た途端に楽しい気分になったり、ちょっと無茶したくなったりするかもしんねえんじゃねえの。ニュージェネの一連の事件に対する反応だったそうだ。この町でそのニュースを見た連中は大抵反応が同じだ。どいつもこいつも楽しんでやがる。自分だけは被害者にならないって気持ちだ。対岸の火事を眺めていい気になってる。
そういう集団心理も GE レートのせいってことっすか？
可能性としてはありだろう。渋谷に来たら楽しい気分になるってのが若いやつらの頭の中に無意識にすり込まれれば、
若者がこの街に惹かれる理由になるってわけですね。
Suva really is a fast-learner Ben thought to himself, impressed. The junior detective was still young, but that part of him truly was worthy of praise. In addition, what set him apart from other young people was that he did not just follow his seniors blindly. Whenever he had a question or whenever he thought something did not make sense, he would always voice it, despite the fact that he was a junior in name.
GE レートについては一応分かったっすけど、それでどうやって犯人を探すんですか？もし GE レートに影響されて今回みたいな事件が起きたってなら、何百年も前から似たようなことが起きてないと変なんじゃ。
そいつはこれから調べりゃいいさ。専門家だな。
先輩は調べないんですか？
俺はデカだぞ。
Ben smirked from ear to
調べ
ear.
るのはニュージェネのことだけだ。そのために今日はわざわざ仕事サボって現場の GE レートを測ったんだ。もしこれまでの一連の現場の GE レートが異常を示したなら何を意味すると思う？
まさか。
Man kann potenziell predikten, wo der nächste Mord passieren wird. Suas eyes went wide and he stopped dead in his tracks. It seemed as if he had realized,
事件は G レートが異常を示している場所で起こるってことですか？だとしたら次の事件が起こる場所をある程度予測できるんですね。
まだそう決まったわけじゃない。それをこれから調べるんだ。
There was something lurking within the city. Something yet unknown, hidden deep beneath its flashy exterior. Perhaps it was akin to Pandora's box, something not meant to be touched by the hands of man. The thoughts such as these pervaded Ben's mind as he watched the pedestrians file down the streets of Shibuya. Aber ich würde sagen, dass ich dann an dem Punkt würde ich jetzt mal diese Folge beenden. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.